Hello everyone, hello, hope you're doing okay. Welcome to episode 38 of Look Back. Yes, basically I look back at what I reviewed 1 year ago and 5 years ago to see whether they're still around, whether I still agree with my review scores at the time, and just whether there's anything of interest as well. Yeah, it's an interesting one, but hope you're doing okay. I don't know, yeah, where's the weeks going here? Where's the weeks going? I say it every week, it's the 11th now, madness, isn't it? In a month's time it'll be nearly Christmas, imagine that. It'll be here before we know it. But yeah, I hope you're doing alright. Anyway, yes, I've done, well basically, before I forget and before I carry on. I do have a member program. Bronze members and above do get an exclusive review. And last year, well, let's get the graphics up and running. Why not? Let's get the graphics up and running. That's usually the hard part, isn't it, with this? So basically, I have some graphics on. Let's have a look. There we go. Yeah, so we've got some going on here, and we've got some. Let's have a see. I usually pick the the wrong ones basically. Now I've been all right in the past. I've been all right. Yeah, there we go. I've done them first time most times. Just finding them out basically. Yes, hi there, Alan. Yeah, good afternoon. How's things for you today? Not too bad, Alan. Not too bad at all. Yeah, I've been quite productive today. I've got a couple. Well, I've not done any reviews for the channel yet. I'm going to do one after this one. Probably the member review actually. Speaking of which. So I think I'll be doing it after this. But I've been doing one for my video games channel as well. I've been getting back into one of my Balloons TD6 videos. So basically it's about an hour long video, but it takes about 3 hours, 4 hours to edit it. So I've been trying to do that today. I've not done it for ages, so trying to get that done. But yeah, but not too bad actually, not too bad. How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. And I see, is that a PUDS? I think that's PUDS, isn't it, on your profile pic there? I don't know what you'd call it. Profile pic? I don't know. Yeah, I think that's what you call it these days. Oh dear, but I might need to. I think I need to review those separately. I think I did them as a live review last year. But speaking of member reviews and stuff like this, the last one I did last year was a mini cheddars, nacho cheese, and jalapeno. Yes, if you're a member of Bronze Level and above and you haven't watched that, or if you want to become a member, check out the. I think there's links in the descriptions, links everywhere basically. I'm sure at the bottom of the screen, all sorts. Bronze members above do get an exclusive review most weeks, pretty much every week to be honest with you, unless I'm on a holiday or having a mental breakdown, one or the other or both. So there we go, yeah. So there we are. So that was what I did 1 year ago. So basically, I've started go back to 5 years ago with that thing. I prefer to start. Well, I don't know if it's better or worse, but I usually go to 5 years ago, start from there, work my way backwards. Maybe it's a bad idea. Don't know, but there we go. So we've got there we are. So let's get. Maybe I don't need these graphics. There you go. 2013. There we go. Yeah, I'm doing it first time this time. I'm getting there, aren't I? With it, after about 10 weeks. Yeah. All right, so what did we do 5 years ago? Well, first one, I did these snowy fingers. Yes, snowy fingers. I'm sure, well, I don't know if they might have renamed them, but these were, definitely around 5 years ago. I don't know if I'm assuming they're still about. They look like something that should still be around, don't they, really? Snowy fingers. So let's have a look. Let's see if I can get the... Yeah, the problem is, you see, I've got like I've got a window with... there we are, right, there we go. So I gave these 3.5 out of 5, basically. I've got a window that's... I can't make it any bigger with these little bar bits, basically, which I want to, but I can't. And it's a bit frustrating, so I can't see the score now and the score was of my labels. The W and the N are not visible, so I can't tell which one's which, so I just have to guess there. So I got it right. Yeah, so I gave these... what did I say? Yes, no, it's 3.5 out of 5. So they look very nice. I mean, look at them. You can tell they look the part, don't they? They look quite wintry. They look nice, they're good effects. Basically, I think they've definitely got the style, have they got the substance? For 3.5 out of 5, Cadbury fingers are pretty nice generally, aren't they? But they're mainly just biscuit, and I think that's the problem with this one. Your main taste is biscuit. The white chocolate you can't really taste because it's just mainly biscuit. There's only a thin layer of chocolate over the top of these, and also there's the milk chocolate as well. So basically, you just couldn't really taste the white chocolate. So they were nice enough, but they were more style over substance. I gave them 3.5 out of 5. I'm trying to think what fingers generally are these days. What do I generally give fingers? They're probably around a 3.5 out of 5. I think this is probably right. I don't think it's enough for them to be a 4 out of 5, basically. I mean, if you look at them, they're nice and everything, they taste nice, but could I really give them a 4 out of 5? I'm not sure that I could. I think that's probably, just far... Yeah, I think they're probably about the same, to be honest with you. So I'm going to say 3.5 out of 5 still. The same score. I think that's fair enough. I think 4 out of 5 is too much for Cadbury fingers. They are nice, but they're mainly just shortbread biscuit, as they're covered in chocolate. And I don't know, sometimes the chocolate's not... It's okay, it's all right. But yeah, and in this case, it looked great. They were nice for Christmas, or festive time of year, or, winter, or whatever, however you want to call it. But winter. But basically, end of the day, yeah. They just didn't quite... They weren't quite... as good as they look, basically. Still nice though. 3.5 out of 5, still a good score. So there you go, not too bad. All right, so let's remove those graphics, and so what do we do next? So quite an easy, quick one, that one, I guess, wasn't it? Quite an easy, quick one. You see me looking off to the left, basically, because that's where my screen things and stuff like that is. All right, so a similar one, actually, a similar one this year. Well, it's number one this time. It's the Cadbury's Dairy Milk Winter Edition. I think they've renamed this to be called Winter Wonderland or something like that. Winter Wonderland Edition. You know, it's basically the same thing. You can see here they had that sort of, well, you might not be able to see it, but if you look close, you can see it had like a sort of patchwork design. I don't know if they've still got, I think they've got rid of that now. For 2 or 3 years, maybe 4, they had this patchwork design for their sort of festive Christmas winter edition type things. It was quite nice actually. It looked like a sort of knitted jumper, but purple basically. You can see the winter edition looks to be like a tag sewn onto it. It was a nice effect basically. It was nice, but I think they've changed the design now to sort of modern, designing pinch from Cadbury over all the watermarks and stuff. And what did I give this one? I gave it a 4 out of 5. This one. Do I give this? Well, basically, it had Christmas tree segments. It looks great, so you can see it's got like a sort of, triangular sort of shapes for the segments. Obviously has white chocolate involved, but the problem with the white chocolate part is, well, first of all, basically the white chocolate segments are not fully white chocolate. There's like a little layer of white chocolate on top of a milk chocolate bottom. So basically you've got loads of milk chocolate because some segments are just all milk chocolate, and then the white chocolate ones are just slightly white chocolate on the top. So it's a bit deceiving and a bit disappointing, that, to be honest with you. And I do find that's a bit, I don't know, not quite right. I feel like it should be, basically all white chocolate really. And this might have been before they did the Cadbury White Bar. I'm not too sure. I think it possibly was. But it looks great. Dairy Milk's nice. Dairy Milk's a 4 out of 5. That's why this one, I think by default it's hard to not give it a 4 out of 5. But the problem is the white chocolate's just massively overpowered by the milk chocolate. You can't really taste it. It does look great. But again, is it another style of a substance? It probably is. The white chocolate is just MIA, it's just not there basically. So I don't know, but I feel like this one, it is a bit deceiving. I feel like it should really have more white chocolate there, to be honest with you. And I think for that reason, I feel, because it is a bit deceiving, I feel like there's just no need for either really. Well, it's laziness, isn't it? It's cheap. To make it cheap so it's easier to apply the white chocolate. So you basically got a milk chocolate base and you can just apply some white chocolate separately, so it's easier to make. So I think for me, I'm gonna 4 out of 5 is almost spot on really, but by the fact that the white chocolate is just totally, it may as well almost not be there really. It doesn't add anything. It probably just waters down the dairy milk if anything. So I think for that reason I'm going to lower it down to a 3.5 out of 5, but it's very close to a 4. It's one of those, it swings and roundabouts. But are you better off just getting the dairy milk and then just having full-on dairy milk experience? Probably. It just looks nice, that's all. But it's a thinner bar as well. It's quite thin as well. So, I think that's probably about right. 3.5 out of 5, I think, to be honest with you. But dairy milk is a 4 out of 5, so bear that in mind. So there we go. All right. Okay, so let's go to the next one then. What did we have next? 5 years ago still 5 years ago. Yes, what do we have now? Let's have a look. Rolo Snacks, remember this one? I don't think you can get this anymore. I've tried, when I was searching for the picture, I struggled to find a picture of it really. Basically, a few years back there was a lot of these snack things. Some of them might still be around, but there was a Nestle one, there was Rolo, there was Mars, there's probably some others. They're sort of like refrigerated, well, they're called snack bars. I wouldn't really describe them as snack bars, but they're basically refrigerated yogurt bars almost. Not quite yogurts, but some kind of substance in the middle that needed to be refrigerated basically to get the to the full effect of it. I always thought they were a bit strange. I was always a bit, I don't know. Some people seem to swear by them, said they were really nice. I always thought, these seem to be very, very, a bit pointless for me, and 3 out of 5, it was nice enough, it was very average, I thought. I think this was probably one of the better ones. There was definitely some, questionable ones, I think. It was quite unique. It melted in the mouth. It was an interesting concept, the middle of it did. It looked nice, better than some of the others. Some of them were just like blocks, like choc ices. I think the Mars one, for instance, some others. This one actually looked quite nice. But at the end of the day, it's not as good as a cake bar. It wasn't as good as the yogurt, the Rolo yogurt. If you roll a cake bar, any cake bar really, that's usually it doesn't really matter which one you get. If one's got caramel in it, or but whatever, just not as quite as nice like a Cadbury mini roll or something like that. Not as good as Rolos either. Just I don't know. Well, is it as good as Rolos? Rolos, not sure the best chocolates in the world, but either way, I don't know. It just was not one thing or another really. It needed to be refrigerated as well. And the Rolo yogurts, even though they're quite small, are pretty amazing. That sort of duo layer, caramel and chocolate layer. So, but the problem with them is they're quite small. But I don't know. For me, these ones, I don't know. I'm not convinced by them. I think they're okay. They're definitely interesting. Really, 3 out of 5. I think a 3 out of 5 is probably about right. You know, I think 3 out of 5 is probably about right. I feel like it's, you know, yeah. I don't think I can quite say it's a 2.5 out of 5, but it's certainly closer to a. Well, I know. I think a 3 out of 5 is probably spot on. To be honest with you, I think 3 out of 5 is probably spot on. But I don't think they're around anymore, and I think, and for obvious reasons, I think they were just a pretty pointless product. That were neither one thing or another. I don't think people really even noticed them either. I don't know. Some people, as they swore by them, but for me, I don't know. I think they were just in a bit of a section of the supermarket that was a bit, I don't know, in the yogurt section really, but kind of off to one side, kind of not really one thing. As I say, they were just not one thing or another in every single respect possible, really. And for me, they were just, you know, yeah. As I say, they were quite distinct and unique. I think that was the main thing for them. But for me, we just not unique in the best ways, really. So yeah, so definitely disappointing that one. Strange one, really strange, but there you go. That's the way it is. Yeah, I don't know. Let's have a see. Maybe we can do a bit of a poll on those these snack bars. Let's have a look. What should we say? Go a bit of a poll on that. See what people think. Yeah. Snack yogurt bars. Is that what you call them? Yogurt bars. Yeah, let's try that. See what people think. Don't know. We'll see if there's enough people around to do it. But I don't know, let's see what people think. Anyway, yes or no way, basically. See what people reckon anyway, because I'm not sure if they're still around. There might still be about. I'm certainly sure there's not as many around as there used to be. I don't think so anyway. Like, you know, I've certainly not seen many of them. So yeah, see what people think anyway. Right. Okay. So the last one for 5 years ago. They do about four from each time period at the moment. So there are sometimes a bit more than that, but I tend to pick the interesting ones. You know what I mean? Let's find out what the other one was. If I can find the. Yeah, always there. There's the screenshots. Well, I was looking for one that wasn't there. So this one, Montezuma's here. So Montezuma's, what are they called? Montezuma's Peanut Butter Dark Chocolate Truffle Bites. It's the full title, I think you'd probably say. Montezuma's, I've got a bit of a, I don't know, I've never been that keen on Montezuma's. I mean, I've not reviewed anything recently, but they were always very much style over substance, very expensive. I always thought they were also, the other problem was with them was they were just, if they had like loads of bits in, for instance, you have sort of chocolate bars with loads of, like especially the Cadbury Australian ones, you see those ones, they have filled with tons of stuff. The Montezuma's ones, they'd all be like off to one side or something, so you'd have like 3/4 of the bar with basically nothing in, and then maybe the bottom left bit with a relatively small amount of bits in, but definitely the most parts in. So they were just really poor, they weren't very, and they weren't that tasty either. I was very disappointed with them. It might have improved. I feel like probably not. But certainly I was never impressed with them. I think they're very, very style over substance, for sure. Very expensive, as I say. You get them in Sainsbury's. I think you can possibly get them in other places now. I'm not sure, really. But so what did I give this one? I gave it a... Let's find the correct score if I can. Yes, there we go. I gave it a 2 out of 5, basically. Just... What did I say for these ones? The dark chocolate was quite strong, I said. And the packaging good. I mean, it looks nice. I mean, look at it. It's great packaging, actually. Very eye-catching. But the problem with it was just the peanut butter was just non-existent in the taste, at least. You just could not taste it. I mean, maybe I'm being spoilt by Reese's peanut butter cups or something, which perhaps are full of sugar and things. But all that aside, you can still taste them. I expect a high-end product to be able to have the flavors and things. This one really just disappointing. It was just disappointing. It was a really disappointing chocolate product. I thought the dark chocolate was quite strong. Maybe at the time I kind of I don't know whether I thought that was a good or a bad thing, but I think you probably would say that's a good thing. 2 out of 5. I think probably I think that's probably about right. I don't think it was horrible or that. Well, it's probably more towards the 1.5 out of 5 than the 2.5. Let's put it that way. But I'm gonna stick with the same now. I think that's probably fair enough. Not a product I would recommend for sure. I mean, the average chocolates are nice, aren't they, really? You know what I mean? 3 out of 5. Most chocolate is nice. So for it to be below a 3, I think is probably one to avoid, really. But who knows? I'm sure Montezuma's does have its fans, but I've never heard people praising Montezuma's that much. I mean, how many people do you hear go on about them? I've never heard anyone, not on this channel anyway. You would have thought, if anything, I mean, I've not got 1 billion subscribers or anything like that, but you would have thought I would have heard someone mention Montezuma's at some point, but I don't think I ever have. So I think that kind of tells you everything, basically. All right, so let's move on to 1 year ago then, shall we? Let's move on to 1 year. Let's see if we can find the... let's have a look. Now I need the... I've got it somewhere. Where's it gone? Now, you'd think it'd be dead easy to find. Let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Yeah. All right. There we go. Yes, did it. All right, found it. Okay. Okay, I thought I was on the road to nowhere then, but I found it. All right, so what did we do 1 year ago? So 1 year ago, let's have a look. Let's see, there's so many graphics here. Maybe I should find a better, efficient way of doing this, but anyway, I haven't got it yet. So Tafifi I did 1 year ago. So Tafifi, yeah, so an interesting one, this one. I've not got the box with me, but it's famous the Tafifi ones now. It's at least in my channel anyway, or at least for me. for having, what is it, 12 in it? Is it safe? 12 in a box, that's right. It says 12 piece on it, you can see. But basically did a limited edition white chocolate version, which had 15 in the box, exactly the same size box, but for some reason I have 3 more. And you could fit in, basically, you know, what's that, a quarter or 25% more, is that 50%, 20% more, 3, 6, 9, 12? Yeah, 25% more into the same size. In fact, I'll go get it. I always want to show this as much as I can, so I will just go and find it. I won't be a second. I keep this just because it's a perfect example, basically, of the kind of nonsense that goes on with chocolate products having too much space. So you can see here, this is the white chocolate, the regular one. You can see it's got 12 spaces there, you know, so 12. You think, well, you know, fair enough, not too bad. But this is the white chocolate one. It's exactly the same size, but you can see it's got 3 more in it. You know, 3 more. It's the same size. There's no trick here. You know, it's exactly the same size. But 3 more in it, you know. So this is just to say, whenever people see me measuring things, like saying, "Oh, you could fit more in," and things like this. Well, yeah, you could technically, but would you? You know, it's just me being picky. I mean, look exactly. That, you know, look at that. Can literally fit in a quarter more. So you know, it's pretty terrible that when you think about it, and when you think about wasted space and stuff. And don't forget, you know, if you're environmentalist or whatever, or, you know, I'm not saying, you know, you should be or shouldn't be or anything like that, but if you are, then obviously that takes up more space in the truck. So basically, if a truck's full of those boxes, a quarter of it is a waste of space. So you could basically fit in, you know, so the truck is containing essentially 25% nothing, you know. So every 4 trucks basically you can have an extra truck, and all the petrol and stuff like that goes on. So you know what I mean. So it is, you know, it is a legitimate complaint, really, and I'm sure they cost pretty much the same as well. I'm sure in the shops they charge you the same. But I could be wrong on that one, you know. In fact, let's have a check. See if they're still around. Tafifi White. Let's have a look. £1.50 Iceland for Tafifi. What's the regular Tafifi? Let's have a look. Well, in fact, some of them say plus 3 more pieces now. I've got a Tafifi one here, sale on Morrison's. It says 3 more pieces. Well, it's, you know, it's basically the size it should be. Let's have a look. Tafifi Iceland. They sell the regular one. I'm not sure. Yeah, hard to say. I mean, basically they're giving you. It's hard for me to tell you now because they're giving you they're adding extra 3. Well, in fact, maybe they've all got 15 pieces in now. I know Tafifi regular says 15 pieces. So unless Tafifi store can make them listen to my channel, but they're both £1.50 now. So maybe they've just increased the regular one. But that's what they used to do anyway. So maybe my review is out of date, my complaint is out of date about that. Anyway, I've gone off on a bit of a tangent there. It is just something to bear in mind. You know, it is a frustrating thing, I certainly think anyway. But there we go. But it seems like they've paid attention. It seems like they had a limited edition, special edition that was 3 extra ones. And one at Iceland, at least on Iceland's website, is saying that they have now 15 in it. So I don't know. Yeah, it's unusual that though, isn't it? I must say, if they have done that, then credit to them. I mean, if they're charging more or whatever. But it's not usual that companies give you more. Usually they take, well, usually goes 15 to 12. So well done on Tafifi if they've done that then. I think that's definitely commendable. But, you know, but at the time, that was the problem. So anyway, what did I give? That was a year ago. So what did I give this then? Let's see, I've lost there. Right, I gave them, well, Tafifi, it's a classic, isn't it? So a bit like, well, I don't know if everyone's heard the news that Karamak have gone now, you know. Karamak basically have been discontinued. It was just a bit of a classic like Karamak Tafifi. Not really a great bar, but nonetheless everyone sort of knows of it and likes them. It's all, you know, at least has a, if you like them, you know, you've got a fondness of them, you know. That kind of thing. Hi there, Scotty. Good to see you in Wigan. I see Wigan at the pier. I don't know what the weather seems to be quite nice. Yeah. How are you doing? What's going on in Wigan? Hope you're enjoying your time there, Scotty. Nice to see you. Good. Thanks for your message. And Yggdrasil, yes, Yggdrasil, is that the gist of what you're it's supposed to be the tree of, is it a tree of life in Norse mythology? I think so. What's my favourite chocolate ever? Yes, well, difficult one, that one. I do, Carl Fazer bars are very nice. The finished chocolate products, they're very nice. Always very nice indeed. But I do like Kit Kat chunky peanut butters as well, and Reese's sticks as well. But I think, yeah, probably some of the Carl Fazer concoctions. I think he did some travel editions a few years back that were very nice, and I really enjoyed those at the time. I think there's a white chocolate one. I think it's they had that. I think it's the Copenhagen one. They had like capital city names. About 3 or 4 of them in the series. The Copenhagen one was probably one of the nicest ones. It was just a lovely bar. But it's been a long, long time since I had that. That was one of the first. Well, maybe about 5 years, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, maybe actually that I reviewed that. It's a very long time ago. So unfortunately, it's fading on from my memory now. But that was my favourite chocolate bar for some time. But you can't get it anymore. I can't even properly remember what was in it now. I think it was just sort of white chocolate fruity pieces or something. I think strawberry pieces, something like that. It's just a very nice one. Very nice indeed. Yeah, very nice indeed. So there we go. So it's one perhaps to see if I can, let's really look into it. I need to get some Fazer chocolate bars again. You know, they are definitely ones on my list of stuff I need to revisit at some point. So yeah. So Tofifi, what would I give that now? Well, Tofifi, difficult one. I think for me, Tofifis, I don't know. They're not really my cup of tea really, but what I thought they had a nice soft chew. I thought the layers worked really well together, and the hazelnut was well integrated as well, and it doesn't sort of dominate the taste as well. Sometimes I'm not a big fan of whole hazelnut, so I think it might be half hazelnut really more than a whole one. Either way, but I thought they're not overly exciting. You basically get what you expect. The hazelnut chocolate filling could be a bit strong in taste as well, so there's definitely room for improvement. You know, and all that stuff about the 25% more, which they might have rectified now. I think a 3.5 out of 5 is probably about right. You know, I think it's another one where, you know, it is just probably about right now. So I think I'll give it the same result there, I think. If I can find the graphic to say it's the same. There we go, look at that. Yeah, it's not too bad. Nopper biscuits. I don't know if I've ever had Nopper biscuits, to be honest with you. I don't think I've had Nopper biscuits. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I've had those ones. Yeah, they're very nice. And I've had Nopper chocolate bars and things, but not biscuit bars or biscuits. Yeah, so I have to look out for them. Interesting one. I assume they've got hazelnut bits in or whatever. They have hazelnut chunky bits in. But yeah, interesting. No, but I have not had those before, I don't think. I'm sure it'd be nice. They sound nice. All right, so Tofifi then. Yes, so what else did we review 1 year ago? Let's have a look. Let's have a see. Munchies, remember this, the Munchies chocolate bar, Munchies gooey caramel and biscuit share. Well, basically, for whatever reason, Nestle I know why they did it. They did a couple of bars for their Quality Street range. I think it was the Orange Crunch one, whatever it's called, and they also did the purple one, did some chocolate bars of those. For me, I wasn't convinced by them, but they were definitely better than this one. This Munchies bar, I don't know why, it seems it was as if I don't know why they did this product. I really don't know why they did it. I mean, they did 2 bars that were basically Quality Street related. Then they did this Munchie one using the exact same moulds, pretty much exactly the same as the purple one, but with biscuit pieces inside instead of chopped hazelnuts. So I don't know why Munchies. I don't know. It's very strange, and it was just I don't know. There's lots of biscuit pieces, but the chocolate was really poor. It felt more like a sort of knockoff bar, I think I remember saying. And I gave this one. What did I give it? I gave it a. Well, wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed. Let's put it that way. I gave it a 1.5 out of 5. It just wasn't a good bar at all. The chocolate, it just tastes like a knockoff bar, as if it wasn't really. You know, you're surprised that this was made by Nestle. I mean, Nestle milk chocolate isn't the best anyway, but usually the other ingredients in the bar bring out the best of them essentially. But this one, I don't know. Just buy regular Munchies. I quite like Munchies. They're a bit of one of those that definitely punch above the weight. I think they're actually quite nice Munchies, and I do enjoy having them, but. I don't know, this bar, it was just terrible. It just was a really poor bar. It just wasn't, it's pointless. Just get Munchies instead. It just didn't have anything. It just didn't seem to manage to get the biscuit across very well, even though there was quite a lot of biscuit pieces. The caramel, I don't know, just didn't really do much. None of it just really worked. I don't think it's a 1.5 out of 1 out of 5, because that just means it's just horrible. I don't really go lower than 1, by the way. So yes, I think 1.5 out of 5. I think that's yeah, you know. I think that's an accurate score. I just don't recommend that chocolate bar at all. Just get Munchies basically, and if you really want something like that, just try out the Quality Street bars they do. It's just all round terrible bar. Don't recommend that one whatsoever. Really poor bar. That was just I like Munchies. I was looking forward to that one, but I think I reviewed the Quality Street bars first, and I wasn't very convinced by them. You know, and I was thinking, these aren't that great really, but they're all, they were passable. but they were certainly not, you know. And then so this one, I'm thinking, well, is this going to be the one that's really good, or is it just going to be pretty much a disappointment like the other ones? And it was pretty much a disappointment like the other ones. Yeah, shame that one. But then we had a Mr. Kipling. What was this? Mr. Kipling, what's it called? Toffee apple pies, basically. So a lot of Mr. Kipling products, you know where this is going if you watch the channel for a while. They have lots of empty space in them. I was watching a Bake Off episode recently where they were sort of like, they're making pies, I think, actually. Well, basically these. And I think Paul Hollywood on it basically said, you know, if you do this, then you're going to get, you know, an air pocket at the top, you know, basically. And it's, I mean, and basically this is what happens with these Mr. Kipling ones of all the time. So it's clearly something that they can do. It's not like they can't stop this happening. It's just on purpose, basically. So it's a problem with a lot of Mr. Kipling products like this kind of product. And I basically gave it another poor mark. I gave it 1.5 out of 5 again, really. But the problem with it was that, you know, it's a nice limited edition one, but basically poorly executed flavour. It just really wasn't as the toffee. You just couldn't really, it wasn't very nice, and it just overpowers the apple flavours. You just didn't really get much going on with it at all. And then there's those big gaps in it. It just wasn't a very nice product. And I was a bit confused as well because it's toffee apple bonfire night, but it's got bats on it. So, you know, it's like, you know, what are you celebrating? You know, so it seemed a bit strange for that. But I don't know. It was just disappointing, really. It just didn't really taste very nice. The toffee wasn't very nice. There's not much filling. You couldn't taste the apple. Too much pastry. It's far too much pastry as well. You know, when you bite into it, just loads of pastry. So basically, long story short, I don't think it was horrible. But I think, again, it's another one of those. It's the same, 1.5 out of 5. I'm not sure if they're around this year. They probably are. If you still see them, I would just decide I would avoid them. Not a good product, those ones. Yes. So there we go. How much chocolate can I eat without feeling sick? I don't know. Well, when I'm doing reviews, I don't eat too much, to be honest with you. I don't eat loads of it. So I just try and sort of, you know, contain myself a bit. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes, I don't know. I'm not too sure. I think, well, basically, I think the only time I have made myself sick from eating chocolate was when I was very young and I was buying loads of Kinder Eggs, Kinder Surprises, trying to get some of the toys, I think. I think it was the time when there was like these tiny terrapins or something like that, I think it was. And I was trying to get loads of them, I think. I can't remember how many I ate, but that was the only time I've made myself sick. I was younger, so I probably had a much less of a tolerance, but it was, I don't know. But they were probably quite a rich chocolate as well, so maybe about 6 of them or something. I think it wasn't loads of them, you know, but I certainly had too many, and I did make myself sick. But I've fortunately not had that experience since then, because hopefully I'm a bit more sensible. You'd hope. You'd hope. There we go. But thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, very nice of you to say. So yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying the channel. Thank you so much. Lovely to hear the comments. So thank you. Yeah, just one of those into, you know, trying to keep up with the channel and things like that. So I'm back on the lives as well. So I've managed to get them a bit more streamlined as well. For a long time, they were very difficult to organise the lives for these look backs because basically they were kind of involved a lot of, you know, I had to do lots of research. It took me about an hour just to watch my old videos to find the scores because I didn't have the timestamps back in the day. But fortunately, 5 years ago now, I do have the timestamps, so it's reduced the time it takes to produce these videos by quite a bit. So yeah, that's definitely helped out a lot, making these a lot more a lot more easier to prepare for. Still takes about 2 hours or so to get everything ready, but you know, well, yeah, maybe probably about 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half, maybe exaggerating a bit, but yeah. Well, thank you so much. Very nice of you to say. Thank you for the chats. Right, so only one more, last one. Yes, Maltesers truffles, possibly the best to last. Assorted truffles. Maltese truffles, basically it's like a combination of, well, they did Maltesers, there's regular Maltesers balls with honeycomb balls, with, you know, the basis covered in chocolate. Then they did the teaser bar. Not sure what the order of this is, which is essentially a chocolate bar version of what the sort of special edition or, you know, special take on Maltesers that they included in the Celebrations box set for quite a long time. Then they produced a bar of it. I'm not sure if this was before or after the sort of creamy truffle bars they did in the Malteser bar and the other one. I don't know what they call that now, really. Yeah, I'm not sure. It might just be called, I don't know what it is, really. It wasn't. It's basically, you could class it as a truffle, but it wasn't called a truffle, and it just appeared in like let's say the Malteser it was called in one equivalent, but I think they probably stopped that because it was a bit too focused on Easter or whatever, and then so they called it something else. But they did special editions around Christmas time with reindeers and little bars of it, basically. Then they've done one, I think a mint edition one, for instance, now. So it's been, you know, so they've done various ones of that, and it basically has like a creamy, what I would describe as a truffle filling. And these actual truffles have mixed them both together. Basically, you've got the top half of the truffle and the bottom half of that Malteser teaser bar, which are crunchy sort of little ball bits, which I was mentioning. And yeah, so it's an interesting one. It's a combo of both of them. Hi there, Joe. Hi there. It's been quite some time. How are you doing? Yes, hope you're doing all right, Joe. It's been a long time since I've seen you last. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, so you've just got the end, actually. Probably near enough at the end of this one, but yeah. But it's a look back edition, yeah, so not a live review today as such. But yeah, hope you're doing well, Joe. It's been some time. How's things going? How's the peanut butter? Hope you're doing okay. Yes. So Maltesers, what did I give these ones? Maltesers assorted truffles. What did I give them? I gave them. Now, I was expecting to really like these ones, but 4 out of 5 I gave them, which is still a good mark. But a lot of people, I don't know, I remember taking these to a friend's house, not these specific ones, but just Malteser truffles or one or the other. I remember friends being a bit disappointed, and they're just a bit disappointing. They look like they should be the best thing ever. On paper, they are pretty much a combination of two really nice chocolate bars, are really nice. But I don't know if it's just over time, people have got a bit bored of truffles. I don't know if these ones are just, as in the truffles generally, and also the Malteser products have become a bit more normal. Like it's quite normal to see the teaser one now, and the truffle one's a bit normal. It's just, they used to be quite special, but they're not anymore. So I don't know. So I think people, I'm not sure. They're not. I think back if you'd had these 10 years ago, I think it would have been a 5 out of 5, no problem. But I don't know. I think 4 out of 5. I think the normal ones are probably 3.5 out of 5. But these ones, because of the dark chocolate, about 4 out of 5 really. Yeah, long time no see. How are you? Yes. Oh, thanks, Joe. I'm not doing too bad, thank you. Not doing too bad at all, thank you. Yes. How are you doing? Yeah, it has been some time. Well, been basically, I think through all of October, the lives were a bit hit and miss. Had so much on in October. It was a difficult one to basically keep them going. I was away for some weekends with busy others, this, that, and the other. It was a nightmare of a month really. But yeah, back on track now with them now. Back on track. So yeah, it has been some time though. Yeah, good to see you again, Joe. Yes. And I was thinking, yeah, not seen you for some time. But as I say, because of my lives being all over the place, kind of my fault really. So it's difficult, obviously, to commit to coming online, isn't it? When I'm not guaranteed to be here. But I'm hopefully going to be back on track with the Saturdays now. Yeah, hope you're doing well, Joe. Good to see you again. Yeah, so complicated one, this one. I basically said that, it was, well, first of all, it's great to have 3 chocolates together, so you can combine the white chocolate, the dark chocolate, and milk chocolate. I think dark chocolate was just about come out. So that was really good. So a great distribution as well. I think there was an equal amount of all of them, except maybe one had, one more. Basically, sometimes they don't. One of them has one more than the other two, but it was a good distribution. Basically, I was happy with it. So. And the dark chocolate one I thought was brilliant actually. I thought that worked really well with the truffle, with the malty taste, the sort of like the truffle scent and things. Just worked brilliantly actually. I don't think you get them separately, the dark chocolate ones, but the white and the milk you could at one point get them separate. Maybe just the the milk chocolate now. I'm not sure that's separate. I'm not sure, but yeah. You're doing well, thank you. Yes, has time changed in you? Yes, it has, Joe. It has. That might not help either. We've gone back an hour, I think. Spring forward, fall back. Yeah, so we've so basically, yeah, we're an hour behind now, so that might explain the difference as well, the problematicness, yes, of it, yeah. But yeah, so that's probably why, Joe. That's probably why it's mixed up everything. But yes, we have gone back. We have gone back in time. Yeah. So it's quite good in a way sometimes because I basically don't change my clock. I have this weird tactic where I don't actually change my clock. So in the mornings I wake up and look at the time, but I've actually got an extra hour in bed than you think. And even though you know about it, it still works because for some reason it's just lovely to know that it's actually an hour earlier than it says on the clock. You always get a bit hour later in bed, it feels like it. And I know, Georgie, yes, I feel like there's a true version of everything recently. Yes, good to see you, George. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I think you're right as well. I think that's the problem. I've certainly found it anyway. I mean, because I'm sometimes worried that maybe, obviously I review chocolate on the channel, so I'm doing lots of chocolates and eating lots of different things rather than just one thing that I just generally like. So sometimes I'm thinking, well, maybe I, not really reflecting reality that well. But yeah, definitely, I think that's the problem. It's just too much truffle, and you get them all. I used to really love them. I remember there was a Galaxy truffle in Celebrations years back, which was one of the better ones. It's probably quite similar to the Malteser truffle, other than the fact that it's not malty flavoured. Maybe anyway, but it's inconsistency. But that used to be my favourite. If it was around now, I'm just not sure it'd be quite as interesting, really, because there's just so many of them. When you get chocolates as well, there's always a truffle one or a praline one, or a noisette one, and there's another one they sometimes call it, which I can't think what it is. They're all the same basically, for all intents and purposes. There might be some strict definition that makes them different, and if they're in a quality product, chocolate product, maybe they would be distinctly different. But yeah, they're all just very disappointing. The only one I did quite like was the Dairy Milk Jingly Bells, which I think it was the brown one. I think it was maybe the green one. Basically the one that's not out this year. At least I've not seen it. I think the green one's still around. The brown one, even though I think one was like a noisette and one was a hazelnut truffle or something like that. And you think, oh, they're just exactly the same. But I think the brown one was actually had the consistency was actually quite nice. It was so much different than all the other truffle and type things that I tasted. It was just, it wasn't chewy, but it was borderline chewy. It was actually very interesting. It was one of the, it was nice. It was just actually something. It was a very minor difference, but it was just enough to make it actually very tasty. And yeah, so I don't know. It's a shame that it's the only one that was actually different and nice, or at least worth going out your way for. You know, because everyone's been, well, I've just had it everywhere else, and they've stopped it. I think at least I've not seen it for the past, at least this year and probably last year, I think, as well. So the review is on the channel somewhere, but I don't think you can buy it anymore. At least not unless it's an exclusive in one place. But there we go. But you're right, Georgie. I think definitely too many truffles just makes them boring. Unfortunately, it used to be something very special, but it's now also, I feel like, a bit of a cop out as well in all these chocolate selections and things, especially if you buy a Lindt chocolate selection or any, you know, rather than having all these nice different wacky things or something a bit different, you know, orange chocolate or, well, orange chocolate creams or raspberry creams, strawberry creams, banana creams, pineapple creams, whatever you want, anything interesting like that, they just throw in a truffle or a praline, and it's just so boring, you know, just really boring. Yeah. So anyway, rant over. Yes. But thanks for coming, Georgie. Great to see you. So these ones, yeah, Malteser truffles, as Georgie's mentioned, they're just a bit too mundane these days. I think, like, lowering this though to 3.5 out of 5 is just too harsh. They are still nice, you know, and the dark chocolate ones really do add, you know, they really work well with the Malteser flavour, actually. I think the white chocolate ones don't particularly, in my opinion. No, I don't think they're unpleasant, but I think white chocolate Maltesers, white chocolate truffles, Malteser truffles, I just don't think work that well. The milk chocolate ones, obviously, just what they are. But the other problem with these ones, though, was I found that the distribution of the layers wasn't that great. I think, like, sometimes the truffle top, there was hardly anything as a truffle. Let's just consult my notes. Filling distribution off with some having hardly any creamy sense. Yeah, the creamy bit was just, you know, like, if you look at the picture on there, you can see that sort of picture. Looks very, you know, sort of very proportionately great, 50-50 almost, you'd say, although not quite because of the dome. But, you know, you'd think that's an acceptable distribution. But sometimes, you know, the top would be pretty much, you know, I don't know, you know, maybe a couple of millimeters higher than that of the so there's not actually as much truffle, you know, so you get like almost 3/4 of what's there, probably something like that. Just really disappointing, that. So it's a bit of a shame as well, you know. So, but it's always the way with these things. You never quite make them look as good as they are presented on the box. Although there have been some notable ones that did manage that. I can't think what it was now. Some of them did look spot on. Some chocolate products, I've mentioned them in the reviews. I can't think of them particularly off the top of my head. So this one, I don't know, I can't really give it 3.5 out of 5. I think the dark chocolate ones make it worth it, you know, and there was a good distribution as well. It wasn't like, I remember there was it Biscoff ice creams, I think it was, where you could buy, basically the only way you could get a dark chocolate Biscoff ice cream was in this selection of milk, white and dark chocolate ones. But basically, I think you got like, it was something ridiculous. I don't know if it was quite 3 white, 3 milk and 1 dark. But yeah, I think it was, you know, I don't know if it was quite that bad. It might have just been 2-2-1. But basically, you know, you remember me and a friend, we were getting them thinking, oh, we can have one each, you know, just because we're both quite, well, loved, you know, I love the Biscoff ice creams and they love sort of Biscoff itself. And we can have, you know, there's only one in the box. It was absolutely ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, at least in this case, they didn't do anything like that, which is good. I think I've noticed distributions have tended to be a bit better than they were a few years back, at least from, you know, maybe could have just been lucky. But from my experience of checking things out, I think with Skittles and things are still quite terrible because they claim it's just, you know, they don't, you know, just putting any old thing in it and not really worrying about it. They even say that, but they could easily have a perfect distribution, pretty much. Random question: when do British people put up the Christmas trees? Well, you know, the way it's going, Joe, it'll be June, I think. But at the moment, I don't know. Some people have started doing it very early. For me, I think it's. I think we always did it roughly about around the weekend, around the 12th of December. When I was younger, but I think some people put them on dead on 1st of December nowadays, you know, which is probably okay, but I think it's meant to be around, I think really it's meant to be around the 12th, something like that. I think it's meant to be about a week and a half, 2 weeks to go till Christmas when you put it on. There's all that 12 days of Christmas stuff, isn't there? I'm never quite sure when the 12 days of Christmas are. I think they go on after Christmas, I'm not sure, but anyway, I think that's generally what I would say, but I think nowadays as it is getting up a lot earlier. I mean, how about in Brazil, Joe? Do people even have Christmas trees in Brazil? I don't know, but yeah, I assume maybe they do because you know of it, but maybe it's just you just know of other places. I'm not sure, but yeah. But you know, there's some people. I remember they put them up in November at some point. I mean, I think that's just going too far, really. I mean, it makes it a bit, I don't know, in my opinion, it makes it takes away from the specialness of it if you're doing it too early, especially in November. I mean, it's bad enough that we have things in the supermarkets that early, although you can kind of understand it, people getting things in early rather than a last minute rush and stuff. But I think Christmas decorations up, before December is too far, I think. Yeah. Yes, there we go. Yes, I wonder if unequal distributions are a way of getting us to buy more. Possibly me just being a cynic, maybe. Well, I think you could well be right there. It's either that, or them saving money. It could be that. I know there was some things where they would. I've seen this on. I don't know if this is still the case, but there was one of these programs on TV. It shows you how they make these things, and basically, I think they had like a. I don't know why this was. It makes no sense that it would happen, but obviously it must have been some kind of problem with the way they made them. But basically, it would get to the end of the conveyor belt and they would weigh them. And I think generally, if they were off by a few, whatever, they would basically someone would hand pick some sweets and throw them in. I don't know how they pick them, whether they just pick random ones or whatever. So there's always that chance that happens. But I think in the days of machinery, and even if that did happen, you'd only expect it to be 1 or 2 chocolates out. So yeah, I don't know. I reckon it's probably. Yeah, well, it's probably a bit of both, to be honest with you. I reckon it would probably be more to be cheaper, really. I think that would be the first thing. The first reason that any company would do anything, I think, is to save money. So they would basically, the ones that cost more to make or whatever, they would put fewer of those in and more of the cheaper ones, basically. But also, leading from that, it's the same difference, isn't it? If they make more money from them by putting in the worst ones and making people spend more, then it's the same difference, isn't it? So yeah, so I could believe that as well. I think the problem with it is that you've got to find a balance, haven't you? So people just think, oh, it's just not very good. They won't buy them if there's only 2 of one they like. They probably, well, some people might buy more than one box and mix them together, but I think most people would probably go on to something else. But it is, I think it's definitely an element of truth in there. They would certainly do it if they could, if that worked, and I don't know for sure whether it does or doesn't. And so if it does work, then yeah, that's definitely a reason. But I could definitely see saving money being one. Yeah, it could also be that some weigh more than others, which is, I don't know. So let's say, for instance, if the purple one in Quality Street weighs a lot more than the toffee penny. I don't know if it does, but let's just pretend it does. So if there's a 2-for-1 weight difference, then you could argue that there's a reason for them putting in twice as many toffee pennies. But I think they should really, just work it out so that there's an equal distribution still. They can still do that. But then you could argue, well, they're giving us less, so so we'd probably complain at that, wouldn't we? But I think they can do it. They can do it in a way that works, and they're not twice as heavy and stuff like that. They are all roughly the same weight. I'm pretty sure of that. So yeah, basically, so they can save money or gain more money. I think is the gist of it, Georgie. And the one you mentioned is gaining more money, so I can believe it for sure. Oh dear, yes. I would say much earlier, middle of November, basically, more or less. Goodness me, middle of November. That is pretty. Yeah, that is very early, Joe. That is very, very early. I wonder. Goodness me. Well, we've not got that far yet, Joe, but it's definitely not getting any later when people put the trees up. Let's put it that way. So I can see it getting that way. That is for sure. Goodness me. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, it's sometimes if that's the way it is, though, then maybe it's people are used to it. But here, it's definitely creeping backwards, and I don't know. It doesn't seem to be a popular thing to hear sort of Christmas songs, things like this in November. I'm never keen on it anyway. But as I say, if it's just the way things are, then it's different. But here, because it's moving backwards, it's noticeably perceived as a bit of a negative to see it earlier rather than later. Yeah. So for these ones, then, what do I think? Well, I think for me, yeah, definitely 4 out of 5. Basically, we've removed the wrong one. There we go. I think a 4 out of 5. For me, so the same basically. I think the dark chocolate ones definitely work, and the proportions were nice. I just think generally like George was saying, just a bit less exciting than usual. And I think they're just not as exciting as they were. So if they brought this 10 years ago, it would have been a great product, really. But I think now it's just become a bit too mundane. Yeah. The weight idea would explain the excess of eclairs in Heroes boxes. Yeah, I think that's probably. I mean. You know what they should just do is just remove them. And whatever weightage that is, just add one of any of the others, even if it means a worse distribution. I'm not a big fan of the eclairs, I must say. I mean, I can eat them, but yeah, I think the weight one, I think you're right there. That does that does apply to that one for sure. I think there's just so many of them. There's like twice as many, isn't there? They are quite small, and I think they're probably small for the. I think if they were too big, they'd be very difficult to eat. So I can understand why they're a bit smaller. But yeah, I'm just not. I don't know. Yeah, it's just disappointing, isn't it? Well, the problem is as well is that sometimes when you hand in amounts to people, this is the problem with distribution things. So say you've got one person that likes one type of chocolate, one person likes another. You're just one person's gonna run out of them before the other person, even if it is a sort of weight issue or something, as in like one weighs twice as much as the other one, or the size or whatever. It's not it's not anyone's fault if they just don't like them. If you don't like eclairs and you like one that there's only half as many in, then yours are going to run out first than the other person, and it's just I don't know. Not a fan of that. I feel like it's just poor design choices. Poor So. Oh well, but yeah. But if you're a fan of eclairs, then you're in luck, aren't you? It's like in celebrations and stuff like if you like the bounties and things, people who like the bounties. Well, the bounties tend to be the ones after the end. Maybe the Milky Ways. Obviously, if you love those ones, then you just won't eat them straight away. You'd eat the other ones, and then you'd be left with all the ones that you still like, but everyone else doesn't. So, there's definitely eating tactics, I think, with chocolate selection, especially if you work in an office or in a family home, even. The middle of November sounds much better. Yes. That's basically what we say. Yeah, middle of November, basically, Joe. Yes. I know you're trying to. Brush up on your English as well when coming to the channel and things. So obviously I didn't want to sort of highlight it, but I thought if I mentioned it, then you'd. I knew you'd pick it up. Yeah, there we go. Yes, I know this is eating tactics, George. That's the way forward. I mean, you've got to be tactical when eating. When approaching the chocolate selections, you definitely pick. I mean, maybe the first one you pick your favourite, but I think definitely it depends how many people there are. If there are a lot of people, if you're I think definitely. Not picking the one that other people won't be too keen on straight away is definitely a tactic. I would say. Right, and the poll then. Okay, what do we get for the poll? Let's have a look. The end of the poll. So yes, snack yogurt bars. Let's have a look. Well, it started off quite strong for the yes, but then went a bit no. But then it finished 60-40. 60-40, yes. 16 in favour of it, the snack yogurt bar. So clearly, around the middle side, definitely not an overwhelming yes. I think because chocolate products, when you think about it, in these sort of things, generally, even the poor ones are reasonably nice. So for it to get so many no's, I think was definitely, probably, we didn't have many people voting, of course. It's not like, I wouldn't bet your house on this being reflective of the nation as a whole, but I think it definitely does sort of hint at the fact that this is probably why they disappeared, because I think you would expect, for a chocolatey, nice, treaty sort of thing, definitely to be, I don't know, I think you would definitely want people, 80% plus of people to generally like it, and want it. I mean, I say this roller thing, why not just go for the yogurts, and that's the thing, isn't it? Why not just go for the yogurts? Yeah, I mean, you could argue that these ones are a bit bigger than the yogurts, maybe, but I don't know. Not convinced by those, not convinced. Right, well, there we go, guys. There we go. Let's see. It's like turning off the lights at the end of the day, isn't it? Let's have a look. One at a time, turning them all off. Yeah, there we go. Just going up the list, basically. Missed ones out, probably, so I'm doing them out of order, but there we go. There we are, right, there we go. Ooh, one last one. Where's that one? Where's that one? Can I find it? There we go, yes. There we are. Right, there we go. Yes, that's Look Back episode 38. Hope you enjoyed that one. Great to see everyone. Great to see you, Georgie and Joe. Yes, and Alan from earlier on. Scotty, of course, out and about in Wigan. And Yggdrasil from before also. Great to see you all. Yeah. It's nice to do the lives again and see people. It's definitely one that wants to keep going. So, always great. And thanks so much for all your support on the channel as well. Always really very much appreciated. So please feel free to leave comments after the event. Let me know what you think of all these, and whether you think about what you think about the Rolo snack bars and stuff like that, yogurt snack bars. Strange name again as well. Let me know what you think of those. It'd be interesting to hear whether you're sad that they've left, whether you even noticed. Yeah, let me know. Well, it's been great to see you again. Oh, thank you so much, Joe. It's great to see you as well. Oh, it really is. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing well. It has been a long time, so really glad that you're still watching the channel. Thank you so much, Joe. Hopefully, if you put your Christmas tree up soon, I hope it goes well. Maybe a few more days to go for you, but yes. Oh, George, thanks for the live. Have a great weekend. Oh, thanks so much, George. You too. Have a great one as well. Good to see you also. Thanks so much again for your comments and support. Very nice to see you. Yeah, have a great one, everyone. And apologies if there's a bit of a lag between myself getting back to you. Well, basically, if you've sent a message and I don't respond and they've gone, it's just there's a bit of a back and forth delay essentially, maybe of 6 seconds round trip or something like that, I'm not sure, or 12 seconds round trip, I'm not sure. Basically, anyway, by the time you've sent your message, I might have already gone and not received it. So I do apologise for that. It's not on purpose. I'm not meaning to ignore you. So no, but thanks so much, Georgie. Thanks so much, Joe, Scotty, and Alan. Thanks so much as well. And Yggdrasil as well. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you very much for your lovely comments. All the support, massively appreciated. No, great look back. Enjoy your Saturday evening. Thanks, you too, Alan. You too. Have a great one, and I'll see you next time. And have a blessed weekend. Thanks, Joe. You too. Have a great one as well. And thank you so much. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye for now, everyone. See ya.